Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A controversial ban on Australian travellers from India is said to be lifted next Saturday, with the federal government agreeing to resume repatriation flights. But one Tasmanian has revealed her heartbreak after her flight home was cancelled last week, leaving her once again stranded with her young son.
Streets in India eerily quiet, parks left empty. The COVID-ravaged country struggling to manage its health crisis.
COVID is everywhere and it is spreading like a fire, and people are struggling to breathe.
These videos were taken by Sonia Shastri yesterday. She travelled from Tasmania to India with her 2-year-old son in March 2020, but borders shut the day before she was due to return. Now separated from her husband for more than a year.
He's really missing his dad too every day, yeah. So it's really hard.
Finally, after 6 months of fighting, they secured a spot on a charter flight meant to be departing today, only for it to be cancelled by a flight ban enforced by the government.
Now I am again stuck and it was really heartbroken, disappointing for me. So I don't know when I will be able to come back. I'm hoping to come back soon and reunite with my husband.
Concerned about the long-term impact it will have on her son.
Because he cannot go outside, everything is locked here and no schools, no daycares are open yet.
Thousands of Tasmanians here also feeling the effects, fearing for their family's safety.
Last year my dad passed away. That was during COVID time as well, and I could not travel.
Criticising a decision to make it illegal for citizens and residents to come home.
As a country, you should be looking after your people and saying that what can we do to help you? Even when you can't bring them back, at least not penalized.
See, nobody is immune from this and no person in the world is safe unless everybody is safe. It's a shared crisis.
That ban is now set to lift next week. Premier Peter Gutwein says Tasmania will do its part, planning to extend a deal with Victoria to quarantine their seasonal workers.
I'm firmly of the view that we would assist the national effort by ensuring that Victoria has more quarantine space available, which would assist them to bring more repatriated Australians home.
For Sonia, she still doesn't know when they'll be able to come home.
I'm just hoping to come back soon.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Forensic experts have detailed what they saw at accused killer Jack Sadler's home in the days following Jake Anderson Bretner's death. Taking the stand on day 4 of Mr Sadler's trial, the jury heard bloodstains were found in various parts of the house along with ammunition. Mr Sadler is accused of murdering Mr Anderson Bretner at Riverside in August 2018. The trial continues next week. Charges have been laid after 2 cell fires were allegedly lit at Risdon Prison on Wednesday night. Police and other emergency services were called in to help bring the situation under control. 5 male prisoners aged between 18 and 30 have been charged with arson and will face court at a later date. Hobart City Councillor Simon Barakis has been told to apologise over a series of social media posts. Mayor Anna Reynolds has alleged his posts were designed to cause damage to her reputation and incite his followers to be abusive. A Code of Conduct panel has ordered Mr Barakis to apologise to the Mayor. The councillor is also in the running to be elected as a Liberal MP in Clark following the state election. Labor Upper House MP Craig Farrell has been re-elected to the seat of Derwent following last Saturday's election. The incumbent gained more than 11,000 votes after preferences, while Liberal candidate Ben Shaw received just under 9,000 ballots. The result in the northern seat of Windermere is expected next week. Tasmania's construction and hospitality sectors are ready to hire as both record a surge in demand for services. But a lack of skilled workers is causing concern, and staff are warning businesses may be forced to make difficult decisions.
It's a sight all too common across Tasmania. Houses rising from the ground at a rate not seen since 1983.
Very lucky through COVID to be able to be getting a bit of stimulus. So yeah, we're really busy. We're fully booked for about the next 18 months.
We're really busy actually, the busiest we've ever been. There's stuff going on everywhere.
The surge in demand, however, creating growing pains.
We're going to need to train up 6,500 extra workers over the next 4 years. That's about a 25% increase in the construction workforce.
We can't have a tradie waiting around for half a day for a delivery because they could be spending that half a day making money somewhere else.
And construction isn't the only industry feeling the pinch. Hobart Restaurants in Albi recently hired 7 new staff and is still growing.
As people start to go out and dine and have such high expectations on the food industry in Tasmania, we feel that we always need really great skilled staff.
Nearly 85% of Tasmanian hospitality businesses are short of skilled workers, while a third are predicting they'll need 5 or more extra staff by November.
Service standards are going to drop, some venues are going to shut, because the simple reality is if you can't staff them, you can't open.
Both sectors left calling for further investment into training.
They also need to have the training funds from the governments at all levels available for us to go out there and pitch this training to everyone.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Qantas is returning to Burnie Airport, announcing new direct flights to Melbourne. It's the first time in 15 years the company has made the journey, with a 50-seater plane offering 7 return flights a week. The change designed to help meet growing demand for travel to and from Tasmania. The Burnie Airport has welcomed the addition, with preparations now underway for the first landing on June 21. The Premier has revealed he's been approached by AFL clubs outside of Hawthorn and North Melbourne about the prospect of playing matches in Tasmania. It comes as government negotiations with both the clubs are put on the back burner ahead of a league report into the viability of a Tasmanian team.
Look, others have reached out. I won't name them, but look, there is obviously great interest.
Peter Gutwin says that report is expected mid-year. Mamma Mia, here we go again. Theatre capacity in Tasmania is finally back to 100%. The changes have come just in time as the curtain comes up for 2 shows in Hobart and in Launceston.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's
Theatre is back, and if titles are anything to go by, this season's shows are really something.
This year it's called Brian the Bitch and the Bathrobe.
The COVID curtain came down on stages last year. Now, for the first time in a long time, theatres can fill every seat.
Theatre's back in action. It'd be great to welcome full houses and 100% audiences from this evening.
The Uni Review will open in Hobart tonight, albeit with a script quickly rewritten after the state election.
There's lots of silliness, rude, crude, all those sorts of fun things that Uni Review brings to the Hobart audiences.
Face masks are gone, bringing back the atmosphere sorely missed.
You can see people's eyes and faces, you can hear them too, but you know if you've got them in the palm of your hand.
Capacity limits had some theatre companies on the brink of closure, but they're back in the box seat.
There's a whole lot of people behind the scenes planning shows as we speak, and everyone's just going to come at the public next year in 2022 in a big way.
There's plenty on this year as well. John X is preparing for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, while in Launceston, Encore will be rehearsing for Mamma Mia in October.
I think we're all very excited to actually finally be able to put this one on the stage. We waited 20 years to get the rights, and now it's been a very long wait to actually get it on the stage at the Princess Theatre. But as my mother said, anything that's worth it is worth waiting for.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian disability service has been saved from the brink of closure thanks to $1 million in federal government funding. The Lifeline will help propel sports-starved members into an all-inclusive program.
Throughout high school, Carolina Escui never quite felt included in sport.
I was pushed away very much.
That was until 5 years ago when she and her friends were converted to the unique game of boccia through disability support service New Horizons.
This was the first one that I found that a wheelchair could do.
I love competing, love my sport. I'll be lost without it.
But not everyone has been afforded the same opportunity. For more than a year, 50 people living with disabilities on the northwest coast have had no physical activity programs.
Those members have really been dormant at the moment, so they're just itching to get back into sport and recreation.
Though a $1 million government injection is set to change that, bankrolling a permanent staff member to launch social sport in the area, as well as expand into other untapped parts of Tasmania.
We're just absolutely thrilled that this funding's come through.
Around 60% will be funneled straight into the operational costs. Relief written on the faces of those at the helm, and for good reason. 3 years of unsuccessful grant applications had New Horizons on its knees.
We were really at the last hurdle, thinking that we were going to have to possibly close the doors.
Those fears allayed for at least another year, offering new hope to its 250 sport-loving members.
Just love it, doing with friends, going away, competing, just love it.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
Launceston's Country Club Casino is now home to 30 animatronic dinosaurs as part of the Jurassic's Creatures Tour. The exhibition, which is installed for the next 2 weeks, is aiming to teach children about dinosaurs.
As the gates opened at Jurassic Creatures, these children were transported back 240 million years.
I think they were wrapped. They just wanted to push the doors open and get into it. So it's a really great family-friendly event.
The stars, these animatronic dinosaurs.
My favourite dinosaur is a Triceratops.
Why do you like a Triceratops?
Because they have horns. A T-Rex.
Why do you like a T-Rex?
Because it's really big than other dinosaurs.
Children also able to tackle activities like puzzle making, drawing and fossil hunting. Organisers spruiking the educational benefits of the tour.
Every kid loves a dinosaur, so when they come out and they can, mum and dad will read them the artefacts and they know a little bit more knowledge on dinosaurs. So.
Country Club Casino, the tour's second stop in Tasmania.
Well, it's actually just finished down at our other property at Rest Point and was very successful, so we thought we'd bring it up here to the north and share it with the kids up here.
The exhibition runs until May 23rd. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Winter is said to be a whole lot colder for a group of students and staff at Kings Meadows High School, who today lost their locks for the world's greatest shave. The school blew its original target of $2,000 out of the water.
I think we're up to 8,900 already, so doing a massive effort.
Family members have been affected by cancer and it's just a horrible thing, so I don't wish it upon anyone.
Remarkably, one teenager raised more than $2,500 himself.
With the TSL's north-south divide growing, Clarence and Kingborough will head to Launceston looking to challenge some fearsome opposition. Meanwhile, 2 of the southern stragglers will face off, neither looking to dwell on last week, but for different reasons.
Heading into a crunch clash with Glenorchy, North Hobart isn't resting on its laurels, despite grabbing a first win of the season last weekend.
We just sort of moved on straight away, a young group, so we just got to start creating these winning habits, which the boys, walked in with their notepads ready to go for the review.
Glenorchy coach Paul Kennedy says his sides responded well to its 148-point drubbing at the hands of Launceston.
Their training intensity had gone up significantly. They'd taken that on board pretty quickly and understood, hey, I need to work harder for longer on the training track so I can do it against the best teams.
They'll be hoping to rebound as the two face off tomorrow at North Hobart Oval. Clarence and Tigers will both face tough trips north, taking on Launceston and North Launceston respectively.
But ultimately it's about, focusing on us and what makes us a really good team. So there's no doubt that this week's a major challenge, clearly the best team in the competition.
Yes, they've lost some players, but, we're more worried about the players that actually are there, and there's some really good ones, obviously.
In the Women's Super League football, the Devonport Strikers will face a stiff challenge, coming up against the league-leading Clarence Zebras.
We do have quite a few players with a few injuries as well this weekend, so we're just going to take the game as it comes.
The Strikers will be hoping their fortunes improve after a flattening 5-goal loss to Olympia last week.
We have been practicing a few in a few areas where we were a bit negative with our game structure.
In other fixtures, Launceston host Kingborough, while Olympia play South Hobart in a repeat of last weekend's statewide cup tie, which the Warriors won 3-0. In basketball's Ivor Burge National Championships for players living with an intellectual disability, Tasmania has won a bronze medal. Facing Western Australia, they won 122-63. The event was held in conjunction with the Under-20 men's and women's national championships. Tasmanian teams competed in both, but missed the finals. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
And ahead of umpire Gary Kane's 700th game, we're flashing back to one of the most famous matches he's been a part of, the 1995 TFL Grand Final between North Launceston and Clarence, famous for its fiery nature and fabulous highlights on a boggy North Hobart Oval. The ground was pampered, formalities prepared, and the Robins' Craig Davies didn't want to watch any more repeats.
Oh, he's dropped it!
It's disappointing looking back on the grand final losses, but hopefully tomorrow's the day we can make amends for them all.
The angelic voices were replaced by a hellish disdain.
He's having a bit of a howdy-doody in the forward pocket.
And what a howdy-doody it was. Rugged-up fans braved the freezing conditions. Some even enjoyed a nice cuppa as they watched a tit-for-tat contest in front of the sticks.
Ground level is Dak. Dak, I think, has kicked it. A sensational stab.
And the juggling act of Robert Groenewegen had an even flashier encore.
He's kicked it off the ground. He kicked it off the ground. The wagon. There is hope for old age pensioners yet.
Umpire Gary Kane held his nerve with David Rees-Jones. Then Colin Alexander. The whistleblowers were kept busy, misdemeanours aplenty. On the highlights reel, Davies would bang one home from outside 50.
Into the goal square, Kremiscote may have come through.
And it sealed the game.
There it is, they've won the flag. The Robins have won their first State League premiership.
Steve Wright and David Rees-Jones put their differences aside. For Clarence, the agony of defeat is excruciating viewing. For the victors, though, fans lapped up every moment. And as these pictures show, the party went on well into the night.
Here it is!
There is hope for old age pensioners. That's got to be one of the best lines in sports commentary, Louise.
Good evening, and finally it's Friday. What a long week. Campania our top today, 22 degrees. Hobart and Launceston 21, Burnie and Devonport 17. Now these temperatures up to 7 degrees above average around the state today. Flinders Island, Grove and Strawn 21, Bushy Park 20, King Island and St Helens 19. Liaweenie a bit cool though, 11. Extensive cloud coverage over us today. Best rainfall to 3 p.m. was 14 millimetres at Fisher River. Low pressure systems abound over the Tasman and also responsible for all the cloud that crosses from northern Western Australia through South Australia to Victoria and our region. Tomorrow a cold front approaches us, preceded by a trough that extends over the mainland. A high builds west of Perth. Winds west-northwest at 15 to 20 knots, increasing to 30 knots over the south with swells to 3 metres. A strong wind warning there from Tasman Island to Sandy Cape. Saturday in Hobart, a possible light shower, 19 the high, 13 for Maydena, partly cloudy for Oatlands, a top of 17. Launceston, afternoon shower or two, 19 the maximum, 17 the high for Devonport with a possible shower. Some showers over the highlands as well. Liaweenie expecting 11 degrees. 17 for Burnie with a shower. Showers clearing from Strawn, 16 the high, 16 also for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow a high of 19, 20 for Swansea, a light shower possibly. Orford partly cloudy at 19 degrees. On Sunday, afternoon showers for the west, central and north, clearing in the east after patchy frost. Showers extending statewide on Monday with snow to 600 metres, and on Tuesday another snowfall to 800 metres and a shower for the west and far south, but fine elsewhere. Sunny and 22 in Perth. A shower clearing from Adelaide but developing over Melbourne. Mostly sunny in Sydney and a fine 27 in Brisbane. And here are our current cloudy conditions around the state, and great to see you here on a Friday night, Louise, because of course our company here has decided to give a holiday for people's birthdays for those full-timers. Kim Miller not with us because she's taking that day off. What I need from you, Louise, is a campaign for us poor old casual staff to have the same benefit. You on board?
I don't know if you deserve it, but we'll think about it. Thanks for that, Murph.